Hello, everyone. This is Eva. I'm a front-end developer at Kaleidos. I'm part of the Penpot team. For the one you don't know, Penpot is a design and prototyping tool. It is web-based, and we work with open web standard as SVG. All our code is on Clojure, and all our repositories are public. You can find them on GitHub. I've been working with Clojure for only 7 months now, and you will telling you yourself why I'm telling you this. Because today we are gonna code something on Clojure, but this thing is gonna be very simple, and I just want you to show that everybody can contribute to this project if wanted. So everybody can make a pull request to our code, and we will be happy to receive them. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what we are going to do. Let me share this screen. So we developers at Penpot usually work with a user story like this. This is a real one. This is from our Taiga project. And as you can see here, we have a lot of information in this user story. There is a description where I can find all the details of what I have to do, some interactions guide, technical notes, a lot of more stuff. And we also usually get a design. I'm gonna open this design so you can see what it is. This design is also created on Penpot, as you see. So this is a Penpot file, and here I can see what I have to do in my user story. So this is just the legend, and it's called shortcuts. So you have a clue of what we are going to do today. The first task in this user story is to create a small button uh, in the lower part of our left toolbar. So our real toolbar is this one. And as you can see, there are only two buttons here. So I have to add a new one. And it has some styles, different styles. So I think this is we are going to do. In this user story, I also have two more tasks. The second one is to rearrange the main menu. As you can see, this is the old file menu. This is this menu. And I have to rearrange and change some option in it. And the third toolbar, the third task, I mean, is to create a panel where the user can check all the shortcuts available in the platform without going outside. Just from here, we can we want to give the user the ability to check all the shortcuts and also look through the options to find shortcut exactly. Okay, I'm sorry, I think I have my Penpot in Spanish. I'm gonna change it to English. Just let me check. Yeah, it's sorry, it's in Spanish. I'm gonna change here configuration. Sorry, English. So okay, it's not working. I don't know why. I don't know what it's not working. I think we're gonna leave it in Spanish. Well, okay. But as I told you, this is the design we are gonna work with, and today I'm only going to work in the button because this is the smallest part of the user story. This user story is huge, so we only are going to work in the small button, the first task I told you. In doing this, we are going to learn some things like create an element in our code, an HTML element, and add a custom icon to it. Check styles, different styles, and depending on the state of the button, it will change its colors and the background and etc. And we also have to add a click on event to it. So it has to change with the click. So I think it's nice for the first coding stream. let's do it. I'm gonna open this design in my local host. So if I change the code, you will see the changes in the screen. So I have prepared the same design. This is my local store. Everything you see is almost the same you have seen before. But now if I touch the code with something, you will see it in this screen. Now I'm gonna divide my screen so you can see my Visual Studio Code and this screen. If you don't see anything right, just please let me know. So, okay, so this is my Visual Studio Code with the repository open. And this is what, if I change something here, we will see it in the right bar. Okay. So for this is my daily basis. This is what I do every day. And I will start looking for the element that I want to modify in my code. And for doing that, I will use the inspect tool. Okay. So this is the dev tools. I know everybody here, almost everybody will know. I will try to go very slow. So if you have any problems following me, just let me know. Okay, so I will use this inspect tool and look for the element I have to modify. I'm gonna look for an ID or a class name or even a translation in these tags. And then I'm gonna search that tag, ID or class in my code. So this is the element I want to modify. It's an aside with a class name called left toolbar. I think this is a very nice class to look in the code. So let's copy this and let's search for this in our code. Okay, so these are the results of the search. I can see there are a lot of CSS code. We don't need that for now, but we also have two Clojure files here. The first one is a workspace Clojure file, and this is for the whole workspace. So that's not exactly what we need. But the second one, it's called left toolbar. I think this is exactly what we need. So I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna close the search bar. Okay, here we go. In this file, we can see the namespace. It's main UI workspace left toolbar. So we are exactly where we want to be. Um, um, you're gonna see something very special here because our coworker Andrey has created a special system to have a React kind of code, but in Clojure. So in React, you have the tags in HTML inside the JavaScript code. And here in Clojure, we have made almost the same, but with this special library. You can find this library at GitHub also. It's called Romex. And all the MF you see this is we are using this library to get the React hooks, React create components, on all that stuff. I'm not gonna go very deep into explanations because I want this stream to be very easy. But if you have questions about this, just let us know, or maybe we will do another stream talking more in depth about this. Okay, so here there is a component called image upload. I don't know what is this. It's not my business now, but here we have a definition of a component. That's what a defc means. So here is the definition of this component. Okay, as you can see in Clojure, we can receive props exactly as React do. And you will see that from props, we get something called layout. Just, I'm gonna leave it here. We will use it later. And this is so close to HTML. You will see tags as UL and ordered list, list item, asides, divs, buttons, etc. But yes, we use this square bracket and the column to create a new tag. Okay, so this element, it's the aside left toolbar, is the same we have here, aside left toolbar. And then there are another list called tools. Okay, so this is the element tools. As you will see it highlight in my screen if I put my mouse here. And that's not the one we want to modify, because we want to modify the other one, the one that is in the bottom. So this is the UL called panels. Let's check it. I'm gonna collapse this element because it's very big. And here we have the UL that we are looking for, the one called panels. Okay, so in this UL, we have two list items. The first one is the text palette. So the first one is that element that is highlighted in the screen. And the second one is the color palette. So the second one is the one that now is at the bottom. So we reach exactly the point we need to modify. I'm going to add a new list element. So it's as easy as this. Say the square brackets, colon, and Lee. And I'm going to add hello world. Hello world. So you will see it here. This is compiling. And we can see here, there's a new element. I'm going to inspect that again. And you will see there's a hello world here. So great, we have the first step. We created a new element just in our code, but obviously we don't want hello world on it. We need a button. We just said we need a button. So let's add this button. Okay. To place one element inside another element, we will put this inside the brackets, okay, or the square brackets. So I'm gonna press enter, and I'm gonna put it this so you can see it better. And okay, so let's add a button. Oop, I'm sorry, caps. Button. Okay, we will add hello so we can see it in the screen. Okay, compiling. Okay, now we have a hello. And what happened? The styles already work because we have the CSS prepared for this. If we find in this UL with the class name panels, it has the Lee elements, and inside that Lee elements, we have that button. We already have the classes for that. That's why just adding this, the over style is working. So we don't have to take care more of this design. Okay. Okay, but I don't want that hello world. In our design, there is an icon, and I want to add that icon. Adding icons to Clojure, it's easy, but it has a bit of process. The first thing we need is the icon in SVG form. Okay, I already have prepared that. I'm gonna look for it, and you will see. Okay, so this is a SVG file, and it's very clear. We have cleaned it before added to our code. As you can see, there are no any groups or any other attributes. It's just a clean path. Okay, you can do this in some programs over there. And other important things is that these icons need to have no fill. Okay, so in our properties, there is no fill. Okay, after creating this file and adding to this path, resources, images, and icons, we have to make the second step is to create a link between our code and this icon. Okay, and this we will do it here in this file. icons, okay? Main UI icons. With this, if I look for shortcuts, okay, so here it is. This is the definition of our variable, and it relates that SVG with this variable. It makes link, okay? After adding this line, we have to start the backend again. So I had this prepared before, and our variable, it has the information about the SVG already, so I don't have to do it. But if you need to do it, just add this line and start the Docker again. Okay, so now we are prepared to use that icon. Okay, let's see here. Are you everything's great in the chat? Okay, if you have some questions at all, just ask, and I will try to make some breaks and read you. Okay, but I will continue. We are gonna add this icon. So to add an icon to a file, the first thing you have to do is add the namespace of the file, this file, the file with the definition of the icon, and add it to the one you are trying to use. As we can see here in this file, it is already imported. Okay, it's like JavaScript import this file from blah 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 blah. It's the same. So here we can use everything that is inside these icons with the e slash something. So I'm gonna add that to our pattern. So I'm gonna delete this I slash shortcut. We are gonna save. Um, okay, so now in that button, we can see the icon. I hope you can see it because it's a bit small, but it's there, trust me. Okay, so we are very close to this, but I don't know if you see in this design, there is a line between our button, our new button, and the rest of the buttons. So we have to add this, and we can do this with a border, top border. Let's do this. So the first thing we have to do is see where this is a style, where the CSS of this file is working. Okay, so do you remember when I make the search of left toolbar, it appears a lot of CSS files? Well, it's SAS file, okay? It's very close to CSS, but it has a bit more interesting things, okay? But I'm not going to talk about SAS now. Okay, but here there's a file called left toolbar CSS. So I think that's the right one. I'm not gonna check the rest, okay? Okay, let's see. So here's the definition of the whole toolbar. And we have the options. The options, if you remember, are those two parts. Okay, as we can see, there is the option tools and the options panel. So, well, we are in the right place. As I told you, there is a list element with its styles and a button element with which is it has to be inside the list element to get those styles. Okay, so I need to add a border, but only in one button. How can I do this? Adding a class name. So let's do to add a class name. But if you know something about SAS, we can do, okay, give this special style to a button that is inside a li and also has this special class name. It's something like this. Okay, so I'm gonna add ampersand dot separator. It's our class to go to add a line between some elements, and I'm going to add to this class border top because we only want this on the top of our button. But what button what border should I add? Let's check in our design. So if I inspect this button a little bit more, I can see there is a separator here. Okay, and it says the size is 1 pixel height only, and the color is gray 60. It says this because this color is safe in our system design. So I already have the variable name. If I wouldn't have that, we can see here the hexadecimal number. So it can be easy, okay? So let's add this. Our border is going to be 1 pixel height. It is going to be solid because there is a simple line. And the color is dollar color gray 60. Okay, but okay, I have saved this and nothing has changed because this button doesn't have the class that I just created here. So let's add the class to the button. To add a class to a button or any element, the only thing we have to do is add dot, because dot is the special character for classes, and the name of the class, separator, and save. And I don't know if you're gonna see this because it's very slight, but now there is a line on top of that button. I'm not gonna over it because it's gonna go green, but trust me, the line now is there, okay? And if we want to add an ID to some element, we will go like JavaScript, or I mean React, okay? So we will use hashtag and the ID, and our element, if I save and I inspect this, okay, it's gonna have the ID that I said, no? So now this element has the class separator and the ID, a bit, a bit, well, and nothing, we're not gonna use that here. Okay, so what more? If we look in the other buttons, there are a tooltip on them, but not in my button. In our new button, there is no tooltip, but we need to add tooltips to help the user. Um, I have to make a disclaimer here because our tooltip system is terrible. Okay, we are not proud of it. We are trying to refactor all these. So I'm gonna show you what we have. That's what we have. I know it's terrible, but we are working on fix this. Okay. If you check this element, you see something here talking about tooltip, and I think we are gonna go something like this. Okay, so I'm gonna look for this element, this class name in our code, and see what happens. Okay, so here is the style file called frameworks. I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna close the search. Okay, if you can read something here, there is a tooltip class, and if you make hover onto it, it gets an after. Okay, so that means if I put my mouse on top of this button, something is going to happen after the button. Okay, and what is going to happen? This element is going to have a content, and this content is going to be the attribute alt of the element. So we have this. We have to add this attribute to our button and add this class. So when I make a hover, it is going to work. Okay, so let's do it. I'm going too fast. Everything is okay? Just let me know, please. Okay, so I'm going to add the tooltip class, and I'm not sure if I need this. Let's see. But I already told you that I need two things, the class name and the attribute. How do we add attributes to this element? Easy enough. We have to add a map to it. It's like an object in JavaScript. It's very simple. Yes, these brackets. And in a map, we have the keys and the values. In Clojure, we use as key something called I don't remember, but it's the colon and the name of the keyword. The keyword, I mean, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So we need to add the attribute alt. So that's going that is going what I'm going to add. Okay, so alt, that's the name of the attribute, and then the value. What is the value? The name, the string we want to see in the button in the tooltip. So I'm gonna add shortcuts for now. Shortcuts and save. Okay, and see what's going to happen. Okay, so okay, nice. So now, as you can see, there is a small tooltip, but we have a problem here, and the problem is that I just wrote the word in English, but you know, Clojure, it supports a lot of languages, and we need to add the translation for that word. Okay, so the Penpot developers just maintain two languages that are English and Spanish because we are from Spain and we speak in English. Some better or no, I don't know, but we try. And the rest of the languages, we left the community to help us. So if you want to help, this is a nice way to do it. Just going to Weblate, looking for our project, and just making a pull request. I don't know how it is called in Weblate, but you can help us here. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to add a translation here, and I don't know if you need more information about this, just let us know. Okay, so to add the translation, we will use a Clojure function, and all the Clojure function are with this parentheses. Okay, so we will add this and the function. Okay, and now here we have to make the reference to one of our translations. All our translations are in a special file called, for example, english.po. Okay, I already write all the strings I need to translate. You can see them here. So this is what we are going to use inside the code. And this function is going to return this string. If I will use this, the function will return this. Okay, and I have already done this in Spanish and in English. So let's use this one. Okay, it says keyboard shortcuts. Remember, I just wrote before shortcuts, and now I'm gonna go with this. Okay, I'm gonna save. I hope this works. And let's see. Okay, so now we have the translation already done. Okay, so we are very close to the end, but we need, if you remember the design, we need this active style. Okay, what is this active style? I'm going to show you with these two buttons. If I press them and I leave, it's black with the letters in green because it's active. If you see the bar, this bar show up. If I press again, the button stay gray and this bar disappear. So the same happened with this. If I active, the color palette shows and the button is active. We need this exactly the same, but with our button. The we are not gonna see anything happening because the rest of the code is not prepared. Yes, we need just to add this style, and I think with this we can be ready. Okay, so what we are going to do, as I told you at the beginning, we are going to add an on-click event, and this is the on-click event. Okay, so this on-click is going to be added to the property map as the alt content. Okay, so it will be on click and the callback of this event. Okay, so the first of all, I'm going to
Okay. Debería estar peireado. A ver.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me again? I'm so sorry. I just lost my battery and I charged them before this, so I don't know what happens. I'm so sorry. Oh, I don't know what I was talking about. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I was talking about the on-click event. Okay, so uh, this on-click is a bit different because I use this before my function. That's because I need an anonymous function, a function without name, because it is a callback. Okay, so using this slash, I can use a normal function, and it's gonna be like a callback in React. Okay, so that's why when I click, and only when I click, this is gonna be called. Okay, but of course we don't want this. We don't want to print hello. We want to change our global state in our application. I'm gonna explain a little bit about this, and I don't want to go very deep into this state and everything because it's a bit hard for now, but I'm going to try to just give us a little hint here. Okay, so at the beginning I told you this component received props. Okay, so here it received props and I can check these props. Okay, this layout refers to the global state, a small part of it. Okay, I can check my global state of the application, writing this in the console. Okay, and if I run this function, I can see the whole state. I'm gonna make this bigger. Do you see it clear? Okay, so there is a small part called workspace layout. If I open this map, you can see here there's an array of elements that I have or don't have activated. So now I don't have either the color palette or the text palette. But if I active them with this and I run the function again, we will see it appears there. So that's the layout. And now the color palette is here. this is exactly what I want to do with the shortcut. So I'm gonna add a function that sends to my state the keyword shortcut, and I'm gonna make my button to check if this keyword is saved in my store or not, and depending on the state of this keyword, is gonna add one class or no. Okay, everything's clear. I hope so. Okay, so how do I do this? Simple. We have another library called, I don't know how it is called, but it refers to the RX library. Uh, if you want to know more about this library, just as tell you before with the Ramex, check our Andrey repos in GitHub. It's all his work, and I'm gonna use it. So this is the function I have to use, and this, as the name says, emits something to the state. Okay, and I want to check if my state has already that flag, and if it has, remove it, and if it doesn't, add it. And we already have that because, as you see, the color palette and text palette do exactly that thing. And as we can see here in the code, the function is here, toggle layout flag. That's what we are going to use. Okay, so I'm gonna code this line and check change the tag because I don't want this tag. I want a shortcut tag. Okay, so with this, if we save this, I'm gonna clean the console. If let's check it before here in this state workspace layout, there's nothing about shortcuts. No, you don't see anything about shortcuts. Am I right? Let's press the button now and check again. Let's see. Layout. Here we have that tag. That's exactly what we need. Okay, and now I have to make my button react to that tag safe in our store. Okay, so I'm just going to add a class name. If the element is saved, add my button the class select. If it's not, don't do it. How can I do this? As the alt content, the on click, we can add class property to this file. Okay, so I will add class. We can add class with dot and also with this property. Okay, and I have to make an if statement. Okay, but the if statement only has one branch here because if something happens, do this. If not, do nothing. So only one branch. And in Clojure, this only one branch if it's called when. When something happened, do this. That's simple. So let's do it. When? When what? Our layout that has this small part of our state contains that tag, I want to add the class. If not, do nothing. So contains, always in Clojure, the function is first and then the attributes or the elements of the function. If contains layout, what? If layouts contain what? Shortcut. What do we want to do? Add class selected. Save and see what happens. Okay, so now we already have that tag in our state. That's why our button has the selected class without doing nothing. If I press again, now it's not in our store. If I press it again, it goes black. So that's exactly what we want to do it. And that's all. It's so easy. So now if you want to contribute to our project, you can make a small pull request and we will be so happy to get them. And now you have some questions, I will happy to answer. Did you lose something when I was out of sound? I'm gonna drink some water. Nothing. Thank you, Yamila. Thank you. I was a bit nervous. It's my first stream, and I hope it goes well. And I feel very nice doing it. Well, yes, Yamila. Yamila was saying that if it's very difficult for me to learn, well, I had a very nice teacher for my first month working here, and it was quite difficult because it's very different from JavaScript or React. But when you understand what you are doing, it becomes easier. So the first week doing things by my own was hard, but now I feel a bit more confident. Well, I'm gonna remove this. Exactly. Perfect. Thank you, Elena. Thank you, Pablo. I'm very pleased that you like it. Um, as you see, this is a new feature for our next release. So in the release 1.14, you will have this shortcut feature available for all the users. With this feature, you can find all the shortcuts available for you to use in the workspace or even the dashboard, and I think it's gonna be nice. Thank you very much. Okay, so if nobody has any questions, I think we're done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye bye.